Marcus, congratulations. Were you getting a
Thanks.
little nervous there, waiting around?
Little was probably a lot of an understatement. I was starting to stress a lot once the fifth round was over with, because I had been told that I was going to be gone before that, and so I just kind of like that was already my expectation. So the last sixth, seventh round, I was starting to stress a lot. My family was, but I'm thankful that I got drafted, and the Bengals took a risk on me. I'm really excited to get back home to Ohio and Cincinnati.
How relieved are you to be a Bengal, and how do you think you fit with the team?
I'm very relieved. I'm very relieved just because, like you said, I was stressing out a lot. But to hear my name, or to see my name pop up there and have the coach call me and say they're going to draft me, that's obviously a childhood dream I've been working towards throughout my entire life. So that's just a moment of validation for all the work I've put in. And, I've had several FaceTime and Zoom conversations with Coach Duffner and then Coach Golden as well, linebacker coaches. And I think I'm going to fit in great there. We've already talked about some scheme and everything. So I think I'm going to have a good shot to be successful there.
Does this give you a little extra fuel in the fact that you thought you might have been gone by then? So now you're coming in with an opportunity to prove that you should have gone a little higher?
Maybe a little bit, because just of like the feeling of agony and just like dreadfulness that was waiting for my name. And I know that I know my worth, I know my value, and I'm really excited I get a chance to actually go out there and prove it now. So.
You think it was because of the injury and the doctors couldn't put their hands on you, the reason that you probably slid?
Yeah, the injury definitely didn't help my draft stock, the injuries. And then the fact that with the pandemic, which is obviously very serious, but that took away some of the access and interactions that I would have normally had during this process. So, those are definitely factors that affected me.
Where do you stand now physically, Marcus?
I'm sorry, what?
Where do you stand now physically? Where are you physically?
I feel great. I mean, I've been cleared to do full movements since the week before the combine, and then I came back after the combine. Was planning to do pro day at Purdue April 2nd. Obviously, that all got shut down, but I continued to train here in Phoenix with the NFL group, going full go, full reactive, no limitations. So I was preparing my body to get ready for rookie mini camps and OTAs. So,
did you send video? I thought I saw that you sent video of workouts to all 32 teams.
Yeah, that was my simulated pro day video that we had to send out. That was just the drills that they did at Indianapolis at the combine.
The word on you is that the coaches have to kick you out of the facility, that you love football so much you're always trying to study it, prepare. I mean, are you a football junkie?
I don't think that's a bad thing to hear about yourself. Yeah, I would agree with that. I love watching film, learning how to diagnose plays, understand the game on a deeper level, and I feel like there's always something you can do to get better. Not necessarily running your body down by doing endless amount of reps, but quality of reps and figuring out how to actually improve. It's like in the details is what has made my game so good to this point. So
the coaches are talking about your position versatility. You can play in space, you can blitz. I mean, there's nothing that you really can't do. Do you have a favorite part of your game? I mean, would you rather pick the ball off, sack the quarterback, or throw somebody tackle for loss? What is it about your game that you like best?
You touched on the versatility. I love the fact that I'm able to play multiple positions, because I feel like just specializing in one would be pretty boring. I like moving around. It's like a different frame of mind you have to have when you're out in space on a receiver versus on the line of scrimmage versus a lineman or tight end or in the box. So it's really fun for me to play football, because I just love football in general. But I love that some specific aspects I love about my game is that I'm able to have really good ball skills. I'm able to get some interceptions, and I think I'm a really good inside blitzer. I think that I can be utilized in a lot of different third down packages because of my ability to make running backs miss and use leverage and use technique to be able to get to the quarterback.
Being from Columbus, did you ever come to a Bengals game or to Paul Brown Stadium?
No, I don't think I've never been to an NFL game actually, which is it's kind of funny, but I've never actually been to an NFL game as a fan, when I was growing up. So.
Wait, you mean period? Like you've never like stepped foot inside an NFL stadium? Like you've never been to a game?
Well, that was I went to a Cardinals game when I was out here, but that was just like recently. That was like this past like during December. I went to a Cardinals game. My agent, we were able to go to one, but like growing up, I didn't go to any games.
What if Coach Golden and Coach Duffner? How are they describing your role? What do they expect? What spot do they expect you to play? What are they telling you? Where you're going to line up and what they expect?
I'm not exactly sure yet. I know in my meetings I've had with Coach Duffner, he's talked about those two inside backer positions. I can rotate between those, but there's also some base personnel that I can play Sam probably in. I'm not sure yet. I'll be talking to coaches more in detail in the subsequent weeks, obviously.
How do you feel about special teams? Were special teams a big part of your past? I mean, that obviously is a way to show yourself in the NFL early on.
Yeah, I mean, because I played every snap on defense. I didn't play special teams my last few years, but my freshman year and sophomore year, I got well acquainted with it. And when it comes down to it, special teams is just understanding leverage, angles, movement. So like, I'm a football player and I feel like I'm a good athlete. So I feel like I can definitely contribute. I'm excited to contribute to special teams, especially going to my rookie season.
Marcus, how did this rehab process go over the past since September, since you've been through it before with your left knee a few years ago?
Yeah, so when it happened to my left knee, I was only a true freshman, so I had never really had a really serious injury before. So it was a big shock to me, and it was a lot harder for me to, kind of flip the switch and start getting towards the rehab part of it and just the comeback part. But when it happened this time, I didn't have any time to be sorry for myself or be sad or be upset that I missed my senior year. I had to quickly figure out my next move. I had to sign with an agent. I had to figure out where I was going to get surgery at, where I was going to train at, all the components that go into having a successful pre-draft process. I had to switch and focus on that because that was because of that, I was able to leave me to get drafted today,
What inspired you to pursue a master's degree in leadership?
Well, I was able to graduate early with my undergrad, which was movement and sports science. And so I wanted to take advantage of my time in my fifth year, my extra time I would have to be in the classroom and actually have something to show for it. I know there's a few other guys that have gone through that program and said it's really good. And being able to get a master's degree from Purdue University on scholarship is just something that I feel like a lot of people would like to be able to do or not pass up the opportunity to. So I think it'll help me outside of football a lot, and it's kind of kept me busy during the time I've been training. Though.
I think you were all academic. Big Ten. What? I think every year you were all academic.
I would assume so. I think so because my GPA was usually around over 3.5. So.
I mean, how hard is that to do at Purdue? I mean, that's not exactly an easy place to get a 3.5, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I guess you can say that, but I mean, it just depends. School's always been something that's been interesting, and it hasn't really been difficult for me growing up. And so, for me, in high school, you didn't have to put as much effort into studying and things like that. So, as long as I put the effort into studying and making sure I'm getting my work done, it's not too difficult if you have good time management skills. So.
Where were you ranked in your high school class?
I was my high school was a really good high school. I was in the top. We had 450 kids in my graduating class, so I think I was in top 40, top 50. But we had those AP courses. People's GPAs were like 4.5s because everyone has the AP classes and honors classes. But we had a really good high school. I put a lot of kids in college. So.
Getting drafted is a dream come true for anybody that got selected this weekend. But in your case, with 2 torn ACLs in college, what does it mean to you to, hear your name called?
Yeah, man. It's just, I feel like it's almost like an against all odds type thing because, I know from an NFL and business perspective, looking at a guy that has had 2 knee injuries can be kind of nerve wracking and make you a little wary. But I feel like we've done everything that I could and that we could on my side with my agent and everyone that's helped me with the process to show teams that I am healthy and that that this is not something that should continue going forward. So it meant a lot to hear my name and just know that there's someone that the team that believed in me, and now I just get a chance to go out and show my value.
Your academic achievement, is that self-driven, or your parents a big factor there? How was that unfolded for you?
Yeah, I mean, academics had always been of utmost importance to academics had always been of utmost importance to my family growing up, and so it was never like the situation where we were allowed to slack in that part of our life. So that was always something that we had to finish our homework before we did this. Before I go to practice, academics came first, and then I just got interested. Like I found joy from started off doing the times tables, trying to win in times tables. When you're in second grade doing the 100 multiplication tables. And it would be like me and a few of my buddies try to compete and see who can finish doing as much mental math as you can. So it kind of started there, I guess. And I've always wanted to learn as much as possible.
You're a pretty cerebral guy. When you think about players in the NFL that maybe approach the game in that fashion, who comes to mind for you?
Probably guys like Luke Kuechly, who just retired. I know Sean Lee has been known for that. Jalen Smith was someone I met this past summer, and we were able to watch film together, and I know he's pretty cerebral with that. I know that someone like Bobby Wagner is like that as well. So those are some guys that I can name off that are like that.
Yeah, you just mentioned Jalen Smith, and obviously he had that knee injury to him. I mean, how much did you talk to him about this whole process of coming back and what it's going to take to stick in the NFL after having that happen to you?
Yeah, actually, it was it's kind of interesting. I went to the same surgeon that did Jalen Smith's ACL surgery, so we kept in contact a lot throughout the process. He kind of knew, what parts of the rehab would be tough, or where I would be at mentally trying to come back from it. But his injury was a little more serious than mine because of the way he got hurt. But we've kept in contact, and he's been kind of a mentor for me going forward. Since I met him going forward.
Did you ever come across the two linebackers? They've taken Wilson and Akeem. Have you ever crossed paths with them?
Well, Logan is actually with my agency too. So we're both with Steve Carrick, who represents us both. And I'm sorry, people keep blowing up my phone. I'm sorry, I keep going away. Right. But no, me and Logan are with the same agency, and then I met Akeem Davis-Gaither at the combine. He seemed like a really nice guy. So I know those are the guys that are two really good players, and I'm excited to see what this rookie class of backers what we can bring.
You grew up in Columbus. Did you cheer for the Browns or the Bengals?
Honestly, I didn't really have much of a favorite team. My first favorite team in the NFL was actually the Raiders when I was like 7 years old, because they had that logo. I liked the logo that they had, and they had Randy Moss. And I used to like offense growing up, so I liked that. And then I was like a little bit of a Colts fan growing up too when they had Peyton Manning and like Dallas Clark, and because I played tight end, and they had Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne and all those guys. So I wasn't like an in-state. I wasn't a huge fan of it either, but it wasn't like I didn't like him either. It was just kind of like it's whatever.
Do you feel like the football gods owe you a year of health, or at least a year, hopefully about 5 or 10 years of health after what you've been through?
Hey man, I'm planning on staying healthy for the rest of my career. I got 2 fresh ACLs. I've been feeling good, and I'm ready to go out there and start a successful NFL career.
Well, guys, if that's it, we'll let Markus go.
Congrats, Markus.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Markus.
Congrats.
Thank you, guys. All right. Have a good day.